Scotland's NC500 is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. It is a journey that cannot be described by just words. I'm Jeff. Join me as we witness epic landscapes, dramatic waterfalls, and some surprising discoveries. We will see adorable wildlife
How you
and
doing, buddy?
stunning beaches, and even some adorable wildlife and stunning beaches. And the food, it was delicious. I'll show you our unforgettable Air BnBs, which were the backbone of our trip, and give tips that I wish that I had known. We will even visit historical sites that will take you back thousands of years. Oh, and the roads, they were crazy. Enjoy my NC500. It is day 5 on our Scotland road trip, and I woke up this day in our new Airbnb. And as you can see, lying in bed was a nice place to be during sunrise. A little bit later on, the sun peeked out over the mountains and began what was to be an epic day. Beautiful blue skies, and we were going to head across to the town of Lower Diabeg, which is on the other side of Loch Torridon. And starting at our Airbnb, as you can see, we went through Shieldaig, over to Torridon and around Loch Torridon, and then as we headed up into a very narrow and tricky road called the Balach na Gulf, which was called the Pass of the Winds. Definitely not a place you would go, as you can see here, with a camper van or a large truck of some sort. In fact, they were not allowed. This was one of the more challenging drives, and certainly one of the more rewarding. Just every turn would bring a new view that I could only see some of the time, but my wife Heather was able to film, which was good. And this actual turn here, coming around this hairpin, I was able to look up and see what was below me. So we were going to drop down into this town of Lower Diabeg, which is a fishing village, and you get up very, very high on this road, and then you drop down very steeply at the end into this small little harbor. That lock on the side, you can see there actually was landed on by a seaplane, and the guy just parked it, got out, got this car. So here's Lower Diabeg, and we came here for a restaurant, and that's pretty much all there was besides a post office. There's about a population of about 20 people, but absolutely gorgeous bay with a cool little pier that you could walk out on. So then we went to the Gill Brigd, which was this little restaurant owned by a couple. It was incredible food, and they were very nice. The menu was quite extensive. I had a yummy Cullen skink appetizer and some lamb that was amazing, and Heather had a salad. And then we went out and took a look at the harbor a little bit more, only a few houses, and probably some holiday houses as well, but it was such a cool place to go to, and just getting there was really part of the fun of the journey. So we headed back, and the road back offered a completely different view. And as you came up over the top of the ridge, there's a viewpoint that looks down onto Loch Torridon and all of the mountains of Torridon, and some just crazy views. And the Coolin Forest is also a big part of what we were looking at. And we could have stayed here, and I could have driven this road for hours. We stopped at this viewpoint here and just soaked it all in for a little bit. Just an epic scene. But we took a we continued on and had our long drive back. Well, it's about a 40-minute drive. This is us entering our Airbnb. Thought I'd give you a little view of that. Airbnb just continued to be the highlight. Got home, went out and looked at the view as the night was approaching, or I should say evening, because it never really got dark. We had dinner at home, enjoyed the view with a cocktail in our 2 chairs, and went to bed. And woke up to a very similar view the next morning. I went out onto the little deck area in between the bedroom and the living room and just enjoyed the sound of birds and the sun rising again. We had a very busy day ahead of us, but I decided to go out and get a little footage of what it was like at around 6 in the morning at our Airbnb. As I've said previously, you could video or take pictures of this landscape every day and you wouldn't see an identical shot. The weather changes everything, and I sort of found myself constantly trying to find different scenery and different looks, and just had a blast with it. So we had a busy day coming up in day 6 on our NC500 road trip. We're going to head up to the ferry in Ullapool and then head to the Outer Hebrides, to the Isle of Lewis and Harris. Do a bunch of things today and then spend the night out there, leaving this Airbnb by itself for a night, and then heading back tomorrow on the ferry to Skye and driving to Shieldag from there. So this is what our route would be when we take off a little while from now this morning, heading up back through the Torridon Pass and then eventually up to the ferry in Ullapool. We arrived about 45 minutes before the ferry was to take off in Ullapool. Very easy, wasn't too busy, and as you can see, we disembarked at around, I believe it was around 11:15. It was about a 2-hour and 45-minute ferry ride that actually was quite comfortable. It was not full, which on June 13th or so was a surprise. Definitely get your tickets in advance. We brought a vehicle. It cost for this actual leg of the ferry route was about £94 for 2 adults and a car. It's not cheap. But smooth sailing all the way to Stornoway, where at the point when we get to Stornoway, we would hop back on our car and head north to a small village called Shawbust. And after about a 45-minute drive over very flat land, we arrived at the Shawbust weavers, who were working out of storage bins, and very nice couple, and he explained how the process worked.
Everything's coming off that table over there. Just pick it up in the rapier.
Oh yeah.
As it gets to the end, it connects with that bearing.
Yep.
The bearing pressing the release arm, it drops it. It doesn't shoot back into the cloth, although it's coming under tension. Because of 12 threads here and 12 on that side, the selvage threads, or false selvage threads to be correct, they hold it in place and a stitch goes in at the edge of the cloth.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because once it passes this tension bar, this is cut off. So that's what that is, selvage waste.
Yeah.
And if the stitch didn't go in, when it went for finishing, it would just unravel and fall apart.
Right. Right.
So if it's Harris tweed, we send it to the mill. They do it in a few days. They go through all this washing process. So it's washing and scouring to remove all the oils and impurities. Shrinks the cloth a little bit, so when you cut it, it doesn't fall apart. They press it and then they shave it. The cropping is because these days lots goes into furnishing. And you don't want to sit on your sofa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Always a little. Yeah.
And then they stamp it, and it's Harris tweed. Any of those bits are missing, it's not Harris tweed.
is it doing it automatically?
So Catherine and Reg were incredibly helpful, but it was time to move on, and we hopped in our car. About 5 minutes away, we found our first beach, and that was called Dalmore Beach, and our first beach of the Outer Hebrides. But soon we were on our way to our next stop, the Girinin Black House Village, which is a village that was a 19th century Hebridean crofting community that was in incredible condition. And there was a shop, there was a cafe, and actually some of these black houses could be rented as a self-catering opportunity. But it really sort of brought you back in time with what it looked like back then, and the importance of using peat to heat up your houses, which caused a lot of very dark, smoky rooms. This one actually looked quite nice. Of course, it was renovated, but it did give you an opportunity to see what it might have been like in this village in this time of the 19th century. Of course, situated nicely on the beach.
These bunk beds are cool, or whatever you call them.
So our next stop brought us to Duncarloway Rock, which again was just about a 10 to 15 minute drive, and the Brock is one of the best preserved Iron Age rocks in Scotland and in the UK. Over 2,000 years old. It was a defensive home and stronghold for several families, and we were able to walk through and explore. This definitely put you into the mood of what it must have been like to live in one of these incredible structures. And of course, as any home would have, it has an excellent view. But we headed back to our car after about a half-hour visit and headed off to perhaps the most famous historical site in the Outer Hebrides, the Callanish Standing Stones. These stones are a 5,000-year-old stone monument that predates Stonehenge. It basically has a circle in the middle and then rows of standing stones that sort of radiate outward in all four directions, north, south, east, and west. And some of the rock is actually some of the oldest exposed rock on the entire planet. They're not really sure what these were used for, but most archaeologists think that it was used for ancient rituals and burials. Nonetheless, a stunning sight. The day was getting to be a little bit closer to dinner time, so we wanted to head closer to where our Airbnb we were staying, but we wanted to do a famous loop of beaches out near where we were staying, Cliff, Neep, and Reef Beach.
Look at these little guys. It's okay, guys. I just want to get a shot. An epic shot of this.
And finally we took a windy road through this valley that seemed like we were on the moon. And we came out to Uig Sands Beach and Uig Sands rooms where we were staying for the night. And this was a gorgeous Air BnB with a nice kitchen, very comfortable king-size bed, and a couch, and huge windows overlooking Uig Sands Beach. The bathroom was very large and comfortable. And these sort of rooms, there's 4 of them, 4 different places to stay. We're right next to the Uig Sands restaurant, which is a renowned, highly reviewed restaurant on the island that wasn't open the night we were there. Otherwise, we would have definitely gone there. But you know, when we arrived, there was smoked salmon in the refrigerator. And we wanted to relax because it had been a long day, but I had one more thing I wanted to do. All right. I'm in the middle of nowhere. No, just kidding. I am on the Isle of Lewis and Harris, the Outer Hebrides, Scotland, as remote as you can get. I am walking on a road, single track road, from a parking area that's not really a parking area, it's more like a cow path. And I'm hoping not to get hit by a car, but I'm gonna take a right over here and head down to the Mangersta Sea Stacks. Apparently they're pretty cool. I'm gonna walk over some boggy area, take a look over a cliff, hopefully not be terrified like I have been this entire trip, get a couple good shots. So I'll see you in a bit. So you can see these from 2 directions, and I quickly walked down from the car and saw them from that direction, and they looked pretty cool. But I'm guessing that walking out onto that headland is the way to go. So we had an amazing day today. We took the ferry from Ullapool to Stornoway, Isle of Lewis, Harris, and just finished driving around, saw some black houses, Black House Village, went to a local weaver and heard all about Harris tweed and how the local weavers do the weaving for them and how they're basically getting ripped off by the big company. But they were awesome. They gave us all sorts of information. Of course, we bought a ton of their stuff because it was so cool. Okay, so then after that, we went to the Carloway Dun Broch, which was a, what was it? 2,400 year old Broch from the Iron Age, which is like this dwelling that they built for families. I don't want to go that close. It's epically scary. So this trip continues to blow me away. I mean, I'm just walking at night. There's no one here. I mean, look at that. I mean, I'm on the edge of a 300-foot cliff, but and then there's that. Completeness. All right, you're looking at the stacks here. Huge I don't even know what you call it, gorge going down from the headland right here, about 10 feet in front of me. And you've got the epic stacks right there. And look at the scenery. I mean, look at the coastline. It's unbelievable. And I'll walk over here because I'm going to head to the headland in a second. You can see another ridiculous gorge that I don't want to get too close to. Some sort of cairn on the top over there. Heading over there. It's about 6:45, sun's out. My wife and I are staying at a place called the Uig Sands rooms. They're like these self-catering rooms on a hill overlooking Uig Sands Beach, which is beautiful. I'll show you a video of it. But our accommodations this trip have been unbelievable. Holy moly. There are the stacks over there. My car's way down there. Probably parked illegally, but we'll head back, have dinner, go to sleep. Tomorrow we head down to Luscantire Beach and Huishnis Peninsula, ferry back to Skye, Skye back to our place. Every place we go just keeps amazing. Everything's different. Walking towards the stacks now, different angle. I think it's pretty close to high tide. All right, so I'm gonna head down and get some shots of the stacks and head back. It's been a short journey, but an epic one, a stunning one, an incredible one, an amazing one. I'm running out of words. Amazing. Well, that was my on my knees literally clutching the ground so I get that shot, and then I almost dropped the thing. Well, I didn't almost drop it, but I certainly felt like I was going to. Up against this fence feels safer, at least. I don't know what to say. This place is unbelievable. All by myself, too, because there's no one here. They say that Scotland gets really busy in the summer. I've been here the last 2 summers, and granted, it's June, and it's only like June 8th, and right now it's June 15th, or something like that. I don't even know what day it is. And it is not crowded. I mean, I'm obviously used to more crowded things outside of Boston, but it's not crowded. How close do you want to get? Feeling lucky? Oh, Jesus. Scary. I was more scared of the bone caves, though. Bone caves were one of those moments. All right, it's going to end up being about 1.3 miles, 40 minutes, but I took a bunch of pictures and talked a lot. You could probably go down there, well, 40 minutes, 35. Here's where I parked. Side of the road, you see that building right there. You'll notice a cattle grid. Cattle grid is where cows, there's grids, so the cows won't cross. They don't like stepping over that kind of stuff. So, anyway, that's my Manger Sea Stacks visit. Until next time.
How you doing, buddy? See ya.
So we end a very busy day 6 on the NC500 on the Outer Hebrides, the Isle of Lewis and Harris. We have a huge day tomorrow. Wake up early, go see Luscantire Beach, and head to Tarbert to hit the ferry back to the Isle of Skye. We've had an awesome time. Definitely looking forward to getting back to Craig na Holair, our Airbnb, for the next several days and explore that area. So stay tuned for the next episode, days 7 and 8 on the NC500. Until then.